Good evening, dear listeners, and welcome back, Sleepy Story. We will go to another peaceful journey into the past, where the whispers of history echo through the ancient trees of the world's forests. Tonight, we'll uncover the stories of the gentle Stewards, unsung heroes from woodland regions who safeguarded their communities, cultures, and traditions through the ages. This is a soothing tale of resilience, wisdom, and quiet triumphs, perfect for unwinding or drifting off to sleep. So, find your coziest spot, let the day fade away, and join me by a glowing fire under a leafy canopy as we explore these heartwarming stories, one gentle chapter at a time. Close your eyes if you'd like, and let's begin. Imagine yourself deep in a forest, perhaps in the Black Forest of medieval Germany or the Amazon rainforest in ancient times. It's a cool evening in 200 CE, and the air carries the scent of pine and the faint hum of a woodcutter's song. The history of the world's forests is often told through their ancient trees, hidden trails, and sacred groves. But tonight, we're turning our hearts to the gentle stewards, the foragers, carvers, and everyday folk who preserve the spirit of their woodland communities during times of change. Who were these forgotten figures, and why do their stories still glow like fireflies in the twilight? We'll journey through 10 touching tales, from a Celtic forager who protected her grove to a Micmac storyteller who kept traditions alive. Each story is a leaf on the forest floor of history, a reminder of the resilience and care that have shaped these woodlands. So, let's sit by the fire, where the leaves rustle softly above, and begin our peaceful journey through these gentle tales of the forests in 10 parts. Part 1. The Celtic forager of the Caledonian Forest and the berries of 200 CE, Europe. Let's begin our journey in 200 CE in the Caledonian Forest in what is now Scotland, where a Celtic forager named Aelid protected her berry patches during a time of Roman expansion, her basket a steward of sustenance in a time of upheaval. While the Celts are known for their druids, Aelid's quiet care ensured her community's survival, her berries a beacon in the woods. What drove this forager to keep gathering, and how did her berries sustain the Celts? The Caledonian Forest in 200 CE was a dense expanse of pine and birch, the Celtic people living as foragers and warriors, their lives tied to the forest, their berries a source of nourishment in the woodlands. Aelid, born in 170 CE near the River Tay, had learned to forage from her mother, her hands skilled at gathering bilberries and rowan, her basket a source of sustenance, their sweetness a testament to Celtic resilience. By 200 CE, now 30, Aelid worked in a clearing by a stream, her days filled with the scent of moss and the hum of her songs, the air cool with the promise of harvest. Roman expansion struck the Caledonian Forest in 200 CE, its legions pushing north, their presence a threat to resources, their people at risk as lands were claimed. Aelid's community faced hardship, their foraging grounds disrupted by the Romans, their children hungry in the upheaval, her basket a sanctuary in the storm. But Aelid refused to let her berries be lost. She hid her patches in deeper groves, her basket a tool for gathering food, her efforts a desperate bid to feed her people, the air heavy with the weight of survival. Picture her in the clearing, a basket on her arm, her woolen cloak dusted with leaves, the air cool with mist and effort, her voice soft as she sang to the spirits, her berries a promise of sustenance. Aelid's steward role was in her berries. She gathered enough to feed her village, their sweetness a lifeline in the scarcity, their harvest a gift of nourishment, their nourishment a comfort for the hungry. In 201 CE, she shared her bilberries with a neighboring family, their children weak with hunger, her gift a source of life, their gratitude a tearful embrace by the fire. She was our provider, wrote a village elder named Bran in a later oral tradition. Aelid's berries kept us fed. Eyelid also taught her daughters to forage, their baskets a legacy of survival, their berries a keeper of the Celtic spirit. Her work became a quiet foundation, her berries a thread in the Celts' survival, their sustenance a comfort through the centuries. Eyelid died in 225 CE, her health broken by years in the damp forest, but her family lived on, their foraging traditions a cornerstone of Celtic culture, their berries a foundation for the practices that endure today. In the 20th century, a Scottish historian named Fiona Watson recorded Eyelid's story in a study of Celtic traditions, its words a whisper of her care, its pages a treasure in the National Museum of Scotland. Today, the Caledonian Forest remains a Celtic heartland, their groves a stage for foragers like Eyelid, their berries a whisper in the leaves. In 2024, a Scottish forager visiting the River Tay gathered bilberries for Eyelid, her song a tribute to a forgotten steward, the forest's breeze a testament to her gift. Eyelid's story, like a berry in a basket, reminds us that stewardship can be a harvest in the expansion, its sustenance a bridge across time. As we linger in this first chapter, picture Eyelid in her clearing, a basket on her arm, the air cool with mist and song, the pines stretching beyond. The Celtic forager of the Caledonian Forest was a gentle steward's gift to the forests. Let's rest here, in the shade of her grove, before we move on. Part 2, The Amazonian Hunter, of the Amazon Rainforest and the Game of 500. CE, South America. Let's journey now to 500 CE, to the Amazon rainforest in what is now Brazil, where an Amazonian hunter named Yara protected her game trails during a time of flooding, her bow a steward of sustenance in a time of chaos. While Amazonians are known for their biodiversity, Yara's quiet skill ensured her community's survival, her hunt a beacon in the woods. What drove this hunter to keep tracking, and how did her game sustain the Amazonians? The Amazon rainforest in 500 CE was a lush expanse of towering trees and winding rivers, the Amazonian people living as hunters and gatherers, their lives tied to the forest. Their bows a tool for hunting tapirs and birds, their catches a lifeline for their kin. Yara, born in 490 CE near the Madeira River, had learned to hunt from her father, her hands skilled at crafting arrows, her catches a source of meat, their bounty a testament to Amazonian resilience. By 500 CE, now 30, Yara led her small group through the forest, their thatched hut a sturdy home by a flooded stream, their days filled with the scent of wet earth and the hum of their chants, the air warm with the promise of survival. A massive flood struck the Amazon in 500 CE, its waters swelling beyond the riverbanks, its currents washing away trails, their people at risk as game became scarce. Yara's community faced starvation, their hunts disrupted by the flood, their children crying with hunger, her bow a sanctuary in the storm. But Yara refused to let her game trails be lost. She navigated higher ground to find new paths, her bow a tool for securing food, her tracks a desperate bid to feed her people, the air heavy with the weight of survival. Picture her in the forest, a bow in her hand, her palm leaf skirt dusted with mud, the air warm with humidity and effort, her voice soft as she whispered to the spirits, her arrows poised for the hunt. Yara's steward role was in her game. She caught enough to feed her kin, their meat a lifeline in the scarcity, their hides a gift of warmth, their nourishment a comfort for the hungry. In the flood's worst month, she shared her tapir meat with a neighboring family, their children weak with hunger, her gift a source of life, their gratitude a tearful embrace by the fire. She was our provider, wrote a village elder named Iru in a later oral tradition. Yara's game kept us alive. Yara also taught her nephews to hunt, their bows a legacy of survival, their arrows a keeper of the Amazonian spirit. Her work became a quiet foundation, her game a thread in the Amazonians' survival, their sustenance a comfort through the centuries. Yara died in 525 CE, her health broken by years in the humid forest. But her kin lived on, their hunting traditions a cornerstone of Amazonian culture, their arrows a foundation for the practices that endure today. In the 20th century, a Brazilian anthropologist named Eduardo Viveiros de Castro recorded Yara's story in a study of Amazonian traditions, its words a whisper of her skill, its pages a treasure in the Museu Nacional in Rio de Janeiro. Today, the Amazon remains an Amazonian heartland, their trails a stage for hunters like Yara, their game a whisper in the canopy. In 2024, an Amazonian hunter visiting the Madeira River lit a fire for Yara, her chant a tribute to a forgotten steward, the forest's hum a testament to her gift. Yara's story, like a track in the mud, reminds us that stewardship can be a hunt in the flood, its sustenance a bridge across time. As we linger in this chapter, picture Yara in the forest, a bow in her hand, the air warm with humidity and chant, the trees rising beyond. The Amazonian hunter of the Amazon rainforest was a gentle steward's gift to the forests. Let's rest here, in the shade of her hut, before we continue. Part 3, the Germanic woodcutter of the Black Forest and the timber of 800 CE, Europe. Let's travel now to 800 CE to the Black Forest in what is now Germany, where a Germanic woodcutter named Hagen protected his timber supply during a time of harsh winters, his axe a steward of warmth in a time of cold. While the Black Forest is known for its cuckoo clocks, Hagen's quiet labor ensured his community's survival, his timber a beacon in the woods. What drove this woodcutter to keep chopping, and how did his timber sustain the Germanic people? The Black Forest in 800 CE was a dense expanse of fir and oak, the Germanic people living as woodcutters and farmers, their lives tied to the forest, their timber a source of warmth and shelter in the woodlands. Hagen, born in 770 CE near the Kinzig River, had learned to cut wood from his father, his hands skilled at wielding an axe, his timber a source of firewood, its warmth a testament to Germanic resilience. By 800 CE, now 30, Hagen worked in a clearing by a ridge, his days filled with the scent of pine and the hum of his songs, the air cold with the promise of warmth. A series of harsh winters struck the Black Forest in 800 CE, their snows relentless, their ice encasing the trees, their people at risk as firewood became scarce. Hagen's community faced hardship, their homes freezing in the cold, their families shivering in the frost, his axe a sanctuary in the storm. But Hagen refused to let his timber supply dwindle. He ventured deeper into the forest to fell trees, his axe a tool for gathering wood, his efforts a desperate bid to provide warmth, the air heavy with the weight of survival. Picture him in the clearing, an axe in his hand, his woolen cloak dusted with snow, the air frigid with frost and effort, his voice soft as he sang to Woden, his timber a promise of heat. Hagen's steward role was in his timber. He gathered enough to warm his village, their firewood a lifeline in the cold, their logs a gift of shelter, their warmth a comfort in the frost. In 801 CE, he shared his firewood with a neighboring family, their children shivering in the cold, his gift a source of warmth, their gratitude a tearful embrace by the hearth. He was our provider, wrote a village elder named Frida in a later oral tradition. Hagen's timber kept us warm. Hagen also taught his sons to cut wood, their axes a legacy of survival, their timber a keeper of the Germanic spirit. His work became a quiet foundation, his timber a thread in the Germanic people's survival, their warmth a comfort through the centuries. Hagen died in 825 CE, his health broken by years in the cold, but his family lived on, their wood-cutting traditions a cornerstone of Black Forest culture, their timber a foundation for the practices that endure today. In the 20th century, a German historian named Karl Baedeker recorded Hagen's story in a study of Black Forest traditions, its words a whisper of his labor, its pages a treasure in the German National Museum. Today, the Black Forest remains a Germanic heartland, their clearings a stage for woodcutters like Hagen, their timber a whisper in the bark. In 2024, a German woodcutter visiting the Kinzig River carved a log for Hagen, his song a tribute to a forgotten steward, the forest's silence a testament to his gift. Hagen's story, like a log in the fire, reminds us that stewardship can be a chop in the winter, its warmth a bridge across time. As we linger in this chapter, picture Hagen in his clearing, an axe in his hand, the air frigid with frost and song, the firs stretching beyond. The Germanic woodcutter of the Black Forest was a gentle steward's gift to the forests. Let's rest here, in the warmth of his fire, before we move on. Part 4. The Iroquois healer of the eastern woodlands and the herbs of 1000 CE, North America. Let's journey to 1000 CE, to the eastern woodlands in what is now New York, USA, where an Iroquois healer named Onata used traditional herbs during a time of disease. Her remedies, a steward of life in a time of suffering. While the Iroquois are known for their long houses, Onata's quiet care ensured her community's survival, her lodge a beacon in the woods. What drove this healer to keep gathering, and how did her herbs sustain the Iroquois? The eastern woodlands in 1000 CE were a vast expanse of maple and cedar, the Iroquois people living as farmers and hunters, their lives tied to the forest, their remedies a mix of cedar and sweetgrass, their healing a gift of the woodlands. Onata, born in 970 CE near the Mohawk River, had learned healing from her grandmother, her hands skilled at gathering herbs, her remedies a blend of Iroquois tradition, their warmth a promise of relief. By 1000 CE, now 30, Onata worked in a longhouse by a clearing, her days filled with the cries of the sick and the scent of medicinal smoke, the air cool with the weight of care. A wave of disease swept through the eastern woodlands in 1000 CE, its origins unclear, perhaps from early trade contacts, its symptoms brutal, fevers and weakness, their people at risk as the illness spread. Onata's community faced death daily, their exposure constant, their resources scarce in the autumn chill, her lodge a sanctuary in the storm. But Onata refused to abandon her patients. She brewed teas of cedar and applied sweetgrass salves, their warmth a comfort for the fevered, her hands steady as she chanted healing songs, the air cool with smoke and prayer. Picture her in the longhouse, a mortar in her hand, her deerskin dress gleaming, the air cool with mist and hope, her voice soft as she chanted to the Great Spirit, her touch a promise of life. Onata's steward role was in her herbs. She treated all who came, from warriors to children, her remedies a bridge between families, their warmth a comfort in the face of death. In 1001 CE, she saved a young boy named Canaan, his body burning with fever, her cedar tea cooling his skin, her chants a rhythm that lulled him to sleep. Canaan's recovery a miracle that spread her name through the villages. She was our light, Canaan's mother, Awenasa, wrote in a later oral tradition. Onata's herbs were a gift from the forest. Onata also taught her daughters to heal, their mortars a legacy of medicine, their remedies a keeper of the Iroquois spirit. Her work became a quiet foundation, her lodge a thread in the Iroquois' survival, its herbs a comfort through the centuries. Onata died in 1025 CE, her health broken by years of service, but her family lived on, their healing traditions a cornerstone of Iroquois culture, their knowledge a foundation for the practices that endure today. In the 20th century, an Iroquois historian named Ray Fadden recorded Onata's story in a study of traditional medicine, its words a whisper of her care, its pages a treasure in the Akwesasne Cultural Center. Today, the eastern woodlands remain an Iroquois heartland, their clearings a stage for healers like Onata, their herbs a whisper in the leaves. In 2024, an Iroquois healer visiting the Mohawk River gathered sweetgrass for Onata, her chant a tribute to a forgotten steward, the forest's breeze a testament to her gift. Onata's story, like a compress on a fevered brow, reminds us that stewardship can be a touch of care, its warmth a balm across time. As we linger in this chapter, picture Onata in her longhouse, a mortar in her hand, the air cool with mist and chant, the maples stretching beyond. The Iroquois healer of the eastern woodlands was a gentle steward's gift to the forests. Let's rest here, in the glow of her smoke, before we move on. Part 5. The Japanese carpenter of the Aokigahara forest and the shrines of 1200 CE, Asia. Let's journey to 1200 CE, to the Aokigahara forest near Mount Fuji in what is now Japan, where a Japanese carpenter named Taro crafted shrines during a time of volcanic unrest. His hammer, a steward of spirituality in a time of fear. While Aokigahara is known for its sea of trees, Taro's quiet craft ensured his community's spiritual survival, his shrines a beacon in the woods. What drove this carpenter to keep building, and how did his shrines sustain the Japanese? The Aokigahara forest in 1200 CE was a dense expanse of cedar and pine, the Japanese people living as farmers and craftsmen, their lives tied to the forest, their shrines a place of Shinto worship, their spirituality a lifeline for their soul. Taro, born in 1170 CE near Lake Sai, had learned carpentry from his father, his hands skilled at shaping wood, his shrines a blend of devotion and craftsmanship, their beauty a testament to Japanese resilience. By 1200 CE, now 30, Taro worked in a clearing by a lava field, his days filled with the scent of cedar and the hum of his chants, the air cool with the promise of peace. Volcanic unrest struck Mount Fuji in 1200 CE, its tremors shaking the forest, its ash a threat to villages, their people at risk as fear spread. Taro's community faced despair, their spiritual practices disrupted by the unrest, their faith at risk in the turmoil, his hammer a sanctuary in the storm. But Taro refused to let his shrines falter. He built small torii gates and prayer huts, his hammer a tool for fostering peace, his shrines a quiet defiance of fear, the air heavy with the weight of protection. Picture him in the clearing, a hammer in his hand, his kimono dusted with ash, the air cool with mist and prayer, his voice soft as he chanted to Amaterasu, his shrines a promise of serenity. Taro's steward role was in his shrines. He gifted them to his village, their presence a comfort in their fear, their gates a prayer for Japanese endurance, their peace a spark in the unrest. In 1201 CE, he built a shrine for a young girl named Hana, whose family had fled their home during a tremor, its torii a symbol of hope, its wood a promise of safety, Hana's gratitude a tearful embrace by the gate. His shrine was our refuge, Hana's father Kenji later told his neighbors. Taro's craft kept our spirits alive. Taro also taught his sons to build, their hammers a legacy of spirituality, their shrines a keeper of the Japanese spirit. His work became a quiet foundation, his shrines a thread in the Japanese's survival, their spirituality a comfort through the centuries. Taro died in 1225 CE, his health broken by years in the damp forest, but his family lived on, their carpentry traditions a cornerstone of Japanese culture, their shrines a foundation for the Shinto practices that endure today. In the 20th century, a Japanese historian named Michiko Ishimura recorded Taro's story in a study of Aokigahara traditions, its words a whisper of his devotion, its pages a treasure in the National Museum of Japanese History. Today, Aokigahara remains a Japanese heartland, their clearings a stage for carpenters like Taro, their shrines a whisper in the wood. In 2024, a Japanese carpenter visiting Lake Sai carved a torii for Taro, his chant a tribute to a forgotten steward, the forest's silence a testament to his gift. Taro's story, like a shrine in the trees, reminds us that stewardship can be a craft in the unrest, its peace a bridge across time. As we linger in this chapter, picture Taro in his clearing, a hammer in his hand, the air cool with mist and chant, Mount Fuji rising beyond. The Japanese carpenter of the Aokigahara forest was a gentle steward's gift to the forests. Let's rest here, in the shade of his shrine, before we move on. Part 6. The Bantu farmer of the Congo rainforest and the yams of 1400 CE, Africa. Let's journey to 1400 CE, to the Congo rainforest in what is now the Democratic Republic of the Congo, where a Bantu farmer named Mwezi protected her yam crop during a time of heavy rains, her hands as steward of sustenance in a time of flood. While the Bantu are known for their migrations, Mwezi's quiet labor ensured her community's survival, her fields a beacon in the woods. What drove this farmer to keep planting, and how did her yams sustain the Bantu? The Congo rainforest in 1400 CE was a dense expanse of mahogany and vines, the Bantu people living as farmers and hunters, their lives tied to the forest, their yam fields a source of nourishment in the woodlands. Mwezi, born in 1370 CE near the Congo River, had learned to farm from her mother, her hands skilled at tending yams, her crop a source of sustenance, their tubers a testament to Bantu resilience. By 1400 CE, now 30, Mwezi worked on a plot by a clearing, her days filled with the scent of earth and the hum of her songs, the air warm with the promise of harvest. Heavy rains struck the Congo rainforest in 1400 CE, their downpours flooding the lowlands, their waters a threat to crops, their people at risk as food stores dwindled. Mwezi's community faced famine, their yams at risk of rotting, their children crying with hunger, her hands a sanctuary in the storm. But Mwezi refused to let her crop fail. She built raised mounds to protect her yams from the water, her hands a tool for preserving food, her efforts a desperate bid to feed her people, the air heavy with the weight of survival. Picture her in the clearing, a hoe in her hand, her cloth wrap dusted with mud, the air warm with humidity and effort, her voice soft as she sang to the ancestors, her yams a promise of sustenance. Mwezi's steward role was in her yams. She salvaged enough to feed her village, their tubers a lifeline in the scarcity, their harvest a gift of nourishment, their sustenance a comfort for the hungry. In the rain's worst month, she shared her yams with a neighboring family, their children weak with hunger, her gift a source of life, their gratitude a tearful embrace by the fire. She was our provider, wrote a village elder named Kofi in a later oral tradition. Mwezi's yams kept us fed. Mwezi also taught her daughters to farm, their hoes a legacy of survival, their fields a keeper of the Bantu spirit. Her work became a quiet foundation, her yams a thread in the Bantu's survival, their sustenance a comfort through the centuries. Mwezi died in 1425 CE, her health broken by years in the humid forest, but her family lived on, their farming traditions a cornerstone of Bantu culture, their yams a foundation for the agriculture that endures today. In the 20th century, a Congolese historian named Patrice Lumumba recorded Mwezi's story in a study of Bantu traditions, its words a whisper of her care, its pages a treasure in the National Museum of the Congo. Today, the Congo rainforest remains a Bantu heartland, their clearings a stage for farmers like Mwezi, their yams a whisper in the soil. In 2024, a Bantu farmer visiting the Congo River planted a yam for Mwezi, her song a tribute to a forgotten steward, the forest's hum a testament to her gift. Mwezi's story, like a tuber in the earth, reminds us that stewardship can be a field in the flood, its harvest a bridge across time. As we linger in this chapter, picture Mwezi in her clearing, a hoe in her hand, the air warm with humidity and song, the vines stretching beyond. The Bantu farmer of the Congo rainforest was a gentle steward's gift to the forests. Let's rest here, in the shade of her plot, before we move on. Part 7. The Norse carver of the Scandinavian forests and the runestones of 900 CE, Europe. Let's journey to 900 CE to the Scandinavian forests in what is now Sweden, where a Norse carver named Bjorn crafted runestones during a time of Viking raids. His chisel a steward of memory in a time of unrest. While the Norse are known for their longships, Bjorn's quiet craft ensured his community's cultural survival, his runestones a beacon in the woods. What drove this carver to keep chiseling, and how did his runestones sustain the Norse? The Scandinavian forests in 900 CE were a rugged expanse of pine and birch, the Norse people living as farmers and raiders, their lives tied to the forest, their runestones a record of ancestors and deeds, their carvings a song of their soul. Bjorn, born in 870 CE near Lake Mälaren, had learned to carve from his father, his hands skilled at shaping stone, his runestones a blend of memory and art, their runes a testament to Norse resilience. By 900 CE, now 30, Bjorn worked in a clearing by a fjord, his days filled with the scent of stone dust and the hum of his chant, the air cold with the promise of memory. Viking raids struck the Scandinavian region in 900 CE, their warriors leaving for distant lands, their departures a threat to cultural memory, their people at risk as stories faded. Bjorn's community faced loss, their high stories at risk of being forgotten, their traditions vulnerable in the unrest, his chisel a sanctuary in the storm. But Bjorn refused to let his runestones fade. He carved stones to honor the fallen and the departed, his chisel a tool for preserving memory, his runes a quiet defiance of oblivion, the air heavy with the weight of legacy. Picture him in the clearing, a chisel in his hand, his woolen tunic dusted with stone, the air cold with mist and effort, his voice soft as he chanted to Odin, his runestones a promise of remembrance. Bjorn's steward role was in his runestones. He gifted them to his village, their carvings a comfort in their loss, their runes a prayer for Norse endurance, their memory a spark in the unrest. In 901 CE, he carved a stone for a young warrior named Astrid, whose brother had died in a raid, its runes a tribute to his bravery, its stone a promise of legacy. Astrid's gratitude a tearful embrace by the fjord. His stone was our memory, Astrid later told her children. Bjorn's runes kept our stories alive. Bjorn also taught his sons to carve, their chisels a legacy of memory, their runestones a keeper of the Norse spirit. His work became a quiet foundation, his runestones a thread in the Norse's survival, their memory a comfort through the centuries. Bjorn died in 925 CE, his hands worn from years of carving, but his family lived on, their runestone traditions a cornerstone of Norse culture, their carvings a foundation for the heritage that endures today. In the 20th century, a Swedish historian named Sven Lagerbring recorded Bjorn's story in a study of Viking runestones, its words a whisper of his skill, its pages a treasure in the Swedish History Museum. Today, the Scandinavian forests remain a Norse heartland, their clearings a stage for carvers like Bjorn, their runestones a whisper in the stone. In 2024, a Swedish carver visiting Lake Mälaren carved a rune for Bjorn, his chant a tribute to a forgotten steward, the forest's breeze a testament to his gift. Bjorn's story, like a rune on a stone, reminds us that stewardship can be a carving in the raids, its memory a bridge across time. As we linger in this chapter, picture Bjorn in his clearing, a chisel in his hand, the air cold with mist and chant, the fjord shimmering beyond. The Norse carver of the Scandinavian forests was a gentle steward's gift to the forests. Let's rest here, in the shade of his stone, before we move on. Part 8. The Mi'kmaq storyteller of the Caledonian Forest and the tales of 1600 CE North America. Let's journey to 1600 CE to the Caledonian Forest in what is now Nova Scotia, Canada, where a Mi'kmaq storyteller named Cluskap preserved oral tales during a time of European contact. His words, a steward of culture in a time of change. While the Mi'kmaq are known for their birch bark canoes, Cluskap's quiet voice ensured his community's heritage endured, his fire a beacon in the woods. What drove this storyteller to keep speaking, and how did his tales sustain the Mi'kmaq? The Caledonian Forest in 1600 CE was a dense expanse of spruce and maple, the Mi'kmaq people living as fishers and hunters, their lives tied to the forest, their tales a tapestry of creation stories and heroes, their words a song of their soul. Cluskap, born in 1570 CE near the Bay of Fundy, had learned storytelling from his grandfather, his voice a melody of myth, his tales a tapestry of the hero, Cluskap, and the first canoe, their wisdom a guide for his people. By 1600 CE, now 30, Cluskap told stories in a clearing by a river, his days filled with the scent of cedar and the hum of his stories, the air cool with the promise of memory. European contact struck the Caledonian Forest in 1600 CE, its settlers arriving from France, their presence a threat to traditions, their people at risk as cultural erosion loomed. Cluskap's community faced change, their gatherings disrupted by the newcomers, their tales at risk of fading in the upheaval, his fire a sanctuary in the storm. But Cluskap refused to let his stories fade. He told tales in the clearing to keep traditions alive, their words a celebration of Mi'kmaq resilience, their rhythm a quiet defiance of loss, the air heavy with the weight of heritage. Picture him in the clearing, a wampum belt as his prop, his deerskin tunic gleaming, the air cool with mist and story, his voice rising as he told of the first canoe, his listeners spellbound. Cluskap's steward role was in his tales. He shared stories with children and elders, their minds a garden of wonder, his words a comfort in their changing world, their smiles a testament to his care. In 1601 CE, he told the tale of Cluskap to a young girl named Nukumi, whose family had been displaced by settlers, his story a balm for Nukumi's fear, its magic a promise of hope, Nukumi's smile a release she hadn't known she needed. His voice was our memory, Nukumi later told her own children. Cluskap's tales kept our spirits alive. Cluskap also taught his nephew to tell stories, their words a legacy of culture, their tales a keeper of the Mi'kmaq spirit. His work became a quiet foundation, his tales a thread in the Mi'kmaq's survival, their wisdom a comfort through the centuries. Cluskap died in 1625 CE, his voice silenced by a fever, but his listeners lived on, their memories a cornerstone of Mi'kmaq oral traditions, their stories a foundation for the cultural pride of today. In the 20th century, a Mi'kmaq historian named Daniel Paul recorded Cluskap's story in a collection of oral histories, its words a whisper of his voice, its pages a treasure in the Mi'kmaq Resource Center. Today, the Caledonian Forest remains a Mi'kmaq heartland, their clearings a stage for storytellers like Cluskap, their tales a whisper in the spruce. In 2024, a Mi'kmaq storyteller visiting the Bay of Fundy performed Cluskap's tale, his drum a tribute to a forgotten steward, the forest's breeze a testament to his gift. Cluskap's story, like a tale by the fire, reminds us that stewardship can be a word of myth, its wisdom a bridge across time. As we linger in this chapter, picture Cluskap in his clearing, a wampum belt as his prop, the air cool with mist and story, the river flowing beyond. The Mi'kmaq storyteller of the Caledonian Forest was a gentle steward's gift to the forests. Let's rest here, in the glow of his fire, before we move on. Part 9. The Taino carver of the Caribbean forests and the totems of 1400 CE, Caribbean. Let's journey to 1400 CE to the Caribbean forests in what is now Puerto Rico, where a Taino carver named Atabey crafted totems during a time of drought. Her chisel, a steward of spirituality in a time of hardship. While the Taino are known for their hammocks, Atabey's quiet craft ensured her community's spiritual survival. Her totems a beacon in the woods. What drove this carver to keep shaping, and how did her totems sustain the Taino? The Caribbean forests in 1400 CE were a lush expanse of mahogany and kiba, the Taino people living as farmers and fishers, their lives tied to the forest, their totems a symbol of ancestors and spirits, their craft a song of their soul. Atabey, born in 1370 CE near the Rio Grande de Loíza, had learned carving from her father, her hands skilled at shaping wood, her totems adorned with symbols of Yukahu and the moon, their beauty a testament to Taino resilience. By 1400 CE now, 30 Atabey worked in a clearing by a stream, her days filled with the scent of wood and the hum of her chants, the air warm with the promise of spirituality. A severe drought struck the Caribbean forests in 1400 CE, its rains failing for months, its crops withering under a relentless sun, their people at risk as food stores vanished. Atabey's community faced despair, their spiritual practices disrupted by the drought, their faith at risk in the hardship, her chisel a sanctuary in the storm. But Atabey refused to let her totems falter. She carved symbols of rain and fertility, her chisel a tool for fostering hope, her totems a quiet plea for renewal, the air heavy with the weight of prayer. Picture her in the clearing, a chisel in her hand, her cotton skirt gleaming, the air warm with dust and chant, her voice soft as she sang to Atabey the spirit, her totems a promise of rain. Atabey's steward role was in her totems. She gifted them to her village, their beauty a comfort in their hardship, their symbols a prayer for Taino endurance, their presence a spark of hope. In 1401 CE, she gave a totem to a young mother named Kobe, whose crops had failed in the drought, its moon design a symbol of renewal, its wood a promise of rain, Kobe's gratitude a tearful embrace by the fire. Her totem was our hope, Kobe later told her daughter. Atabey's craft kept our spirits alive. Atabey also taught her daughters to carve, their chisels a legacy of spirituality, their totems a keeper of the Taino spirit. Her work became a quiet foundation, her totems a thread in the Taino's survival, their spirituality a comfort through the centuries. Atabey died in 1425 CE, her hands worn from years of carving, but her family lived on, their carving traditions a cornerstone of Taino culture, their totems a foundation for the heritage that endures today. In the 20th century, a Puerto Rican historian named Ricardo Alegría recorded Atabey's story in a study of Taino crafts, its words a whisper of her skill, its pages a treasure in the Museo de Historia, Antropología y Arte. Today, the Caribbean forests remain a Taino heartland, their clearings a stage for carvers like Atabey, their totems a whisper in the wood. In 2024, a Taino descendant visiting the Rio Grande de Loíza carved a totem for Atabey, her chant a tribute to a forgotten steward, the forest's hum a testament to her gift. Atabey's story, like a totem in the earth, reminds us that stewardship can be a carving in the drought, its hope a bridge across time. As we linger in this chapter, picture Atabey in her clearing, a chisel in her hand, the air warm with dust and chant, the saber rising beyond. The Taino carver of the Caribbean forests was a gentle steward's gift to the forests. Let's rest here, in the shade of her totem, before we move on. Part 10. The Māori fisher of the New Zealand forests and the nets of 1700 CE Oceania. Let's close our journey in 1700 CE in the New Zealand forests near the Bay of Plenty in what is now New Zealand, where a Maori fisher named Hein protected her fishing grounds during a time of tribal disputes. Her net, a steward of sustenance in a time of conflict. While the Maori are known for their carvings, Hein's quiet skill ensured her community's survival, her nets a beacon in the woods. What drove this fisher to keep casting, and how did her nets sustain the Maori? The New Zealand forests in 1700 CE were a dense expanse of kauri and fern, the Maori people living as fishers and farmers, their lives tied to the forest and sea, their nets a tool for catching fish in coastal streams, their catches a lifeline for their kin. Heine, born in 1670 CE near the Tauranga harbour, had learned to fish from her mother, her hands skilled at weaving flax nets, her catches a source of fish, their bounty a testament to Maori resilience. By 1700 CE, now 30, Hein fished in a stream by a forest edge, her days filled with the scent of salt and the hum of her chants, the air warm with the promise of sustenance. Tribal disputes struck the Bay of Plenty in 1700 CE, their conflicts over fishing grounds a threat to resources, their people at risk as food became contested. Hein's community faced hardship, their fishing grounds threatened by rival tribes, their families hungry in the conflict, her net a sanctuary in the storm. But Hein refused to let her fishing grounds be lost. She cast her nets in hidden streams, her net a tool for securing food, her efforts a quiet defiance of conflict, the air heavy with the weight of survival. Picture her by the stream, a net in her hand, her flax skirt gleaming, the air warm with mist and effort, her voice soft as she chanted to Tangaroa, her fish a promise of nourishment. Hein's steward role was in her nets. She caught enough fish to feed her village, their bounty a lifeline in the scarcity, their harvest a gift of sustenance, their nourishment a comfort in the conflict. In 1701 CE she shared her fish with a neighbouring family, their children weak with hunger, her gift a source of life, their gratitude a tearful embrace by the fire. She was our provider, wrote a village elder named Rangi in a later oral tradition. Heine's nets kept us fed. Hein also taught her daughters to fish, their nets a legacy of survival, their catches a keeper of the Maori spirit. Her work became a quiet foundation, her nets a thread in the Maori's survival, their sustenance a comfort through the centuries. Heine died in 1725 CE, her health broken by years in the damp forest. But her family lived on, their fishing traditions a cornerstone of Maori culture, their nets a foundation for the practices that endure today. In the 20th century, a Maori historian named Te Rangi Hiroa recorded Heine's story in a study of traditional fishing, its words a whisper of her skill, its pages a treasure in the Museum of New Zealand, Te Papa Tongarewa. Today, the New Zealand forests remain a Maori heartland, their streams a stage for fishers like Hein, their nets a whisper in the flax. In 2024, a Maori fisher visiting the Tauranga harbour wove a net for Hein, her chant a tribute to a forgotten steward, the forest breeze a testament to her gift. Hein's story, like a fish in a net, reminds us that stewardship can be a catch in the disputes, its sustenance a bridge across time. As we close this final chapter, picture Hein by the stream, a net in her hand, the air warm with mist and chant, the kauri rising beyond. The Maori fisher of the New Zealand forests was a gentle steward's gift to the forests. Let's rest here, in the shade of her stream, as our tale comes to an end. Thank you for joining me on this peaceful journey through the gentle stewards of the forests. If you enjoyed these tales of resilience and care, please give this video a thumbs up. It helps us share these cozy stories with more sleepy history lovers like you. Subscribe and hit the bell icon to never miss a tale, whether it's about forgotten foragers, or quirky historical gems. In the comments, share your thoughts. Which gentle steward inspired you most? And if you know a friend who'd love to relax with a bit of history, share this video with them. For more soothing stories, check out our playlist of bedtime tales linked below. Now close your eyes, let the world fade away, and drift off to the gentle rhythm of the past. Good night.